folks who will be logging in and getting connected. All right, everybody, it is that time. It is about to go down. Or shall I say it's about to go up? See, because we're trying to increase your value, we're trying to increase your livelihood here on this planet. So it's about to go up. We're about to increase that stock. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much to each and every one of you guys who are here today, live and in person, and also everyone who's out there live online with us, joined in today. We are so glad to have you today. The Minority Mastermind presents part 2 now of the Black Wealth Now Masterclass. And today we are going to be talking about generational causes, curses, and cures. All right. So thank you guys again so much for being here. Guys, you know, we're really getting into the essentials of wealth. And this is a serious topic for us right now. Because see, what we're going to talk about a little later is what that stimulus check do. All right now. So, hey, the cures, causes, and curses, they're all running through us. And that's why we're here today to have that conversation with you guys. So again, definitely glad you guys are tuned in and here live and present with us. So before I even start and go any further, I want to know about you. Each and every one of you guys who have blessed us with your time, your presence, and your energy here. Share with me a little bit about yourself before I get all up into the goodness and before you even find out a thing about me. I got to know about each and every one of you guys. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds or less. All right now? Let me say that again, 30 seconds or less. And if you're thinking to yourself, how long is 30 seconds? Not long, okay? Let's say that again, 30 seconds is not long. But all I need to know from you is your name, the location or area that you're in right now, and your area of expertise. I ain't asking for your full resume. This is not a full interview. I don't need your 3-page bio, all right? I need to know your name, your location, and your area of expertise in 30 seconds or less. We have somebody new who's logging in, which is Miss Tasha. So thank you, Tasha, for being here today. We're going to get started real quickly with those introductions. And if I have anyone who wants to volunteer, please go ahead. If not, I will volunteer somebody. So please unmute yourself if you'd like to volunteer.
Hello, family. I'll start off. Hello, my name is Kimberly Connor. I'm from Colorado Springs, Colorado, and I'm helping to break the generational curses by empowering our people with financial literacy, whether it be personal or business credit, business funding, business loans. There you have it.
And what area, city, and state are you in?
I'm in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
All right. Shout out to Colorado Springs. All right. I'm here in Tampa Bay. We're going to bring a little heat your way, baby.
Thank you. Thank you. We need it.
All right. So who next would like to volunteer? Your name, your location, your area of expertise. Please unmute yourself and go for it.
Hi, my name is LaTanya Colson. I go by Tanya, and I'm also in Colorado Springs, Colorado. So amazing that there's somebody else from here. And I am really just learning. I have just started to invest a little bit. And so I am really anxious to learn about the history, the curses, the challenges that we face as Black people in building wealth.
Yes, ma'am. thank you, Tanya, as well for joining. And glad you're able to see someone from your area, because Kim is a good connection, honey. So that's why we're doing these introductions. So definitely we can get to know who's on here, and also we can make those connections as well as we come together. So who next would like to go ahead and volunteer themselves? 30 seconds or less. Name.
Hi, my name is Tasha. I'm Tampa, Florida currently, and I'm sorry, you guys, if I'm breaking up. I'm actually out and about. But I am a trader. I trade Forex, and I have my own small business that does personalized items.
And did you tell us what city you in, Tasha?
Oh, I'm in Tampa, Florida.
Okay, I know where you are. For the rest of the folks out there. Thank you, Tasha, for joining. All right, who we got next? Let's see here. Okay, I am going to volunteer. Who I got here? Glenn? Are you there, Glenn? Unmute yourself. Perty, please. Okay, I'm going to give Glenn.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
there
when
you
the phone switches screens,
It's okay, thank you.
yeah, I'm out and about as well. So my name is Glenn Gibbs, and I am an engineer by trade, a speaker, author, and coach, and I teach people how to do personal self-disruption, personal self-development, and I am here in Nashville, Tennessee.
Awesome. Okay, shout out to Cashville. That is my hometown. Yes. And if you've never been to Nashville, I encourage you to go. Good food. All right. So thank you, Glenn, so much for being here and sharing with us a little bit about yourself. Who do I have next? And if you don't mind muting yourself back, Glenn, thank you.
I'll go next.
Uh-oh, you're muted, Jamie.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. I am Jamie Pack. I am here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm originally from Michigan, but I have also lived in Nashville and also lived in the Tampa Bay area before I got here in Atlanta. And my expertise is education and financial investment.
All right. And thank you, Jamie. And I know her, she's being so modest right now. She's being so modest. But thank you, Jamie, for being here. Again, by way of Atlanta in particular, but she's touched quite a few cities that a number of us are on the call right now. So glad you're here with us today. And let's see here. I got a couple people left. And you know who you are. Let's see here. Delita, I don't think you've gone yet. Gotta volunteer your girl.
Hello, everyone. My name is Delita. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, and I am a plethora of random information. I love to learn, I love to grow, and I love to encourage. And that's it.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Delita. And did you share your city, even though I know I may have missed it? Did you share?
Nashville.
Yes, she's in Cashville, Tennessee as well. All right, and I think I have one person left, Ms. Jenkins from Yes Ma'am, No Ma'am. Are you able to unmute yourself and join us?
I'm currently out of pocket in a bad position, but I can definitely try to. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, my name is Sharia Wilson, and I'm the founder of the Yes Ma'am, No Ma'am Institute, the place where manners matter. I'm a native of Nashville, but currently reside in Huntington, Tennessee. And I do some gardening, I've had a nonprofit for about 6 years now, so I'm kind of versed in those types of things. I do before and after care services and summer camps. So that's it.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you definitely took the second to share with us who you are and all the wonderful things you do, because you're absolutely right. Manners matter. Good Lord. So praise God you are on that mission with our young people. Thank you for that. So now that we know who you guys are, who is the Minority Mastermind? The Minority Mastermind, it's an institute. It's a network. And ultimately, it is a resource, an opportunity, and a solution for people of color, people like you and I, people who have a desire to shift their paradigm, change their future, and change the future in the lives of themselves and the people around them for generations to come. All right. Now, how do we do what we do? Well, we do it just by events like today, where we're showing up. And again, we're going to get in depth about the causes, curses, and cures of generational wealth. And we do it through implementing financial strategies, introducing new ideas to you in reference to education, spiritualness, and simply overall improving your lifestyle. And we trying to just be on the come up. Who's about that come up right now? Can I get an amen? I need to see some hands raised. Who's on the glow up? Who's on the blow up right now? And see, it's all about coming up right now. Okay, amen, amen. And I'm glad to be in light company, praise God, because that's very, very important. You know, I know we've all been through something and we all have a story to tell, because trust me, I got my story to tell. Who am I? I am Miss Marilyn J. Johnson, a native of Nashville, Tennessee, currently residing in Tampa Bay, Florida. And again, I need a change. You know, where do I come from? I come from 37208. We call it out north. Who out there know about out north? Okay, I come from out north. And out north, there's a pipeline to prison in the neighborhood that I came from. In the neighborhood that I came from, actually, the year that I was born, 1 in 7 of us was destined to go to prison by the age of 30. And I've known quite a few people who have gone, still are there. And those who did not go to prison, they were on their gravy train to the grave. So again, at this stage in my life, I'm 40 years old, and I know a number of people who lost their life, you know, many, many years ago, and who are still losing their lives to the street, to the bullness, to the madness, to the generational curses that, again, so many of us of color have experienced simply because we haven't been introduced to new ideas, we haven't exercised new concepts, and we haven't been around people who support that. So for you, if you like me, if you can resonate with any of that story, you are absolutely in the right place today. I'll tell you guys, about a year ago from now, 2 years ago from now, my bank account didn't have no money. I was facing hardship with my living situation, moving from company to company, not happy with myself or the things that I was doing. And it's through a lot of these things that we're going to talk about today and that we implement in the Minority Mastermind program that have got me to where I am today. I'm in a much better place financially, mentally, physically, emotionally, and in a place where I can share that joy and that love of that. And also it is a mission and a goal of mine to help other people create the lifestyle they want, they deserve. And we weren't put here for suffering. Okay, I know I wasn't put here for suffering, and I was put here for the good life, and it is there and it's available to us. And we're just going to help you get a step closer to that. And that's our job. We can't do it for you, but we can give you tools and resources to guide you in that way and support to do that as well. So my support here with you guys today is a wonderful, wonderful, amazing woman. And that's just to say the least. Your favorite motivator, Mimi the Motivator, is a personal friend of mine. She grew up in that same zip code as I. And let me tell you something. She, a lot of times, is my resource. I tell people, when I got car trouble, I call her. When I get sick, I call her. When I need to know something, I call this woman. But she is literally a walking encyclopedia of information. She has this, she's like a human sponge for for just attaining information and for knowledge. But the best thing about her is she likes to wring herself out and squeeze all of that goodness out and share it with everyone that she knows. So she has a wealth of knowledge and information. You know, it's her life mission, in a sense, to gain a knowledge and to share it with people to increase their lives. And together, we came up with the Minority Mastermind, simply on a conversation and a desire to improve our lives and the lives around us. It has spawned into this, and it is steadily growing. Again, if you want to hop on a train, if you want to hop on a boat, this is the one to hop on. We had Noah on the team, baby, building that sucker, honey, and it is anointed, okay? And it's all about keeping us afloat and taking us on to the next journey in our lives in a brighter light. So without further ado, I want to introduce the founder of the Minority Mastermind, my partner, friend, and your favorite motivator's favorite motivator, Mimi the Motivator.
Thank you so very much. So if you have your cameras off, I want to see you shake your fingers and give Miss Marilyn J some love for that great, awesome welcome and introduction. You know, this would not be possible without her. I feel like I would not be possible without her, okay? I do a whole lot, but she is more like the glue that keeps me together and the oil that keeps me moving. So this is not possible without her. So I have to definitely show her some love. But I want to show some love for everybody for being here today. You could have been anywhere in the world, and I know that. So I am grateful that you chose to be here to invest in yourself, to invest in your future, in the future of our entire culture. So what I want to talk to you today about is generational poverty. See, in my head, I'm a superhero. I'm Mimi the Motivator, you know, and every superhero has an arch nemesis. And my arch nemesis is generational poverty. So instead of fighting generational poverty, though, I have decided to build up generational and community wealth. But today we are talking about why are we in the position we're in the first place? What happened to us? Because, you know, if you know anything, you know, we weren't always a poor people. We weren't always broke. We weren't always in poverty. If we go back far enough, we were kings and queens. But let's just talk about what happened to us now. What is generational poverty? You know, you hear that term and some people have never heard it. I've encountered some very educated people who did not know what the term really meant. So today we're going to start off with defining it. So generational poverty is when two or more generations were born into poverty. So if you know that's you, raise your hand or drop a 1 in the comments so I can know that I'm not alone, because I know it's definitely me. So let me give you a little bit of background on my story. So I am the daughter of Mario Palmer, who is the product of a pimp and a hoe. Literally, no joke. My grandmother was a prostitute her entire life for the most part. She sold off my auntie. She did all kind of crazy stuff. You know, it was their real life. And my grandfather was locked up my entire life. So my dad grew up in foster care. But luckily, by the time I turned 13 years old, my dad went to the other side of the tracks and joined middle class America. But my mom, who also had a rough upbringing, but nowhere near as rough as my dad's, still remained in poverty as an adult. Living with my mom, I never knew where I was going to live. We would go house to house. You always had to be ready to pack your bag. I remember coming back from Florida one time because I was raised between Tampa, Florida and Nashville, Tennessee. And I came back. I was in about the 7th or 8th grade, and we didn't have anywhere to live. My mom was staying at my auntie's house, and my auntie had 3 children and only a 2-bedroom duplex. And she had met this guy from the Army, so he's there. And my mom had met some guy, and he's there, and my little brother's there. And I'm like, what is going on? It was like a circus to me. But that is what generational poverty looks like. See, there's a difference between situational poverty and generational poverty. See, situational poverty is something like, you know, somebody died or our house burned down, or it's something that is temporary. Typically, people in this type of position, they have hope. Where people who are victims, if you want to call it that, of generational poverty, they have no hope. They're hopeless. And that's why sometimes we remain being those crabs in the barrel, because we don't believe there's any hope of us getting out. That statistic that Miss Marilyn shared is so, so true. Now, I'm not going to point anybody out on this call, but there's somebody on this call right now that is a full example of that. And I use her in my speeches all the time, her and my brother, because they're both very well educated people. My brother was in graduate school and still ended up being locked up for a couple of years. That is a sign of generational poverty. So generational poverty can look like, yes, it can look like my neighbors that I grew up with in North Nashville, where it's a little bitty small place, probably, I want to say 500 square feet, maybe a little more, but don't get too much bigger than that. And in that space, there were 3 generations of family. A lady with her 3 sons and whatever children they had, whatever girlfriends they had at the time. And it was nothing for there to be crack cooked on the stove while the kids are sitting there eating cereal or watching cartoons, for it to be sold and the junkies coming in and out. To this day, that's still pretty much the same scenario that goes on. They just live in a different house. That is generational poverty. But generational poverty also looks like my father. He makes a good $100,000 a year, but he probably spends a good $120,000 a year. He'll buy a house and refurbish the whole thing. Not refurbish, excuse me, refurnish. Buys brand new furniture every time he moves. And then he might be there for about a year and be like, ooh, I think I want a new leather couch. I want some new this, da-da-da-da. Most exotic house I have been in. And I've been in some wealthy people's houses, and their houses look nothing like my dad's. My dad got the pool in the backyard and all of that, but he is broke. At one point, he and his wife were sharing a car. That is generational poverty, because wealth is not money. You can make money all day long, but if you don't really know what to do with it, if you have not been given the financial literacy, then you're going to continue to perpetuate the cycle of poverty. So what is the cause of it? So I'm going to start right here in the mind. Dr. Bruce Lipton tells us that the first 7 years of our life, our minds are in the state of theta. So theta is that state like when you first wake up in the morning and you kind of groggy. It's also when you're under hypnosis. So that's when the real programming starts. That's when the real programming is implemented. Those first 7 years of your life, whatever you experienced, whatever you saw, pretty much has determined the adult that you have become. So no matter how much money you make, those first 7 years are dictating how you are making decisions. Y'all see all these books behind me? I got a library in 3 different cities, my own personal library. I read all these books, but did it change things? We'll talk about that a little bit more. So what are some other reasons besides the subconscious programming? Lack of livable wages. Lack of livable wages. A livable wage means that you make enough money to support you and your family without the need of any government assistance or any assistance from anybody, but that you can make it completely on your own. That is a livable wage. Out here, I'm in Colorado Springs today. And in Colorado, they complain about their minimum wage that is $10. In Nashville, minimum wage is like $7.50. Can anybody in real life live off of that and support a family too? Pay rent, pay for a car and transportation, food and all. Come on, man. They got us stuck in a cycle because they give us the desires for what we want to desire, and then they give us just enough to get by possibly, but to never be able to thrive. So we're stuck in this survival mode. And even though we start making more money, we're still in survival mode. We're putting the money in the bank account and it's just sitting there not collecting any interest. You know, back in the day, they'd put it under the mattress because they were scared. They're hoarding the money. There's a fear when it comes to money. There's a fear of even having money. Back in the slave days, you had to spend all your money before you passed away because you couldn't pass it on. There was no such thing. You couldn't buy property and pass your property on. You were property. So you're valuable. You're very valuable. They just never gave you your money for your value. We all know that America was built on the backs of slaves. I watched a video recently that showed me how the value of slaves went up and up and up to the point that we were worth $1 billion as a piece of property, though, not as a person. Something else that hurt us, it wasn't slavery. If anything, it was welfare, the welfare system. The welfare system says, well, we'll give you this, we'll give you food, we'll give you housing, we'll give you childcare, just don't make over this amount of money. And as soon as you make that amount of money, then they take everything away. And you're not even in a position to really care for yourself. You can't afford childcare yet. You're only making $7.50 an hour. But because you're making $7.50 an hour for 40 hours a week, they say, hey, well, you got a paycheck now. You don't need us. So then you end up quitting your job just so that way you can keep your benefits. A cycle. It's really a mental cycle more than it is a physical cycle, though. Integration. We think integration was the best thing since sliced bread, but no, it was the worst thing. Before integration, where did you buy your food? From the Black people. Where did you buy your clothes? From the Black people. What kind of doctor did you go to? A Black doctor. What kind of anything that you paid for, you paid a Black person. You paid a Black person for your hair products. Do you know how much we spend on hair products? We make up 14% of the population in America, but I think we make up twice as much in the spending of just hair care and stuff. We spend all our money in the house, on food, on looking good, clothes, shoes, hair, eyelashes, all this stuff. Nails that's super long with all this gel and pictures and flowers and crystals. I don't know what they're doing in nails these days. Women are walking around with $300 lace fronts. Now, I'm not going to ask you to tell on yourself, but I want you to think about this. Do you know a girl that has a bag that costs more than the money that's in it or more than the money she has in her account? Do you know a guy that's got the latest iPhone or Galaxy Note thing, whatever it's called? Forgive me if I'm saying the wrong Android name. I'm not an Android user. Sorry, Androiders. But he's got the Jordans. He got all this stuff. He got rims on his car, but has no money in the bank, has no assets, has no money invested in the stock market, doesn't even have a life insurance policy. We're not even going to go there. Not even going to go there. Integration happened and we started sitting at a different counter. We started putting our money into their pockets, no longer in our own pockets. Also, we're spending all this money on ourselves because we're trying to prove our status. We can look good too. We can sound smart too. So we spend all our money trying to convince them that we're worthy, which keeps us where? In poverty. Let's talk about solutions. We've talked about causes, but let's talk about solutions. So they said there are 4 ways to escape poverty. The first way is pain. That you have a pain that's so like eating at you that you're like, I'm getting out of here. No matter what, I'm getting out of here. I feel like I had a little bit of that. The second one is a goal that's so strong that it pulls and pushes you until you come out of that situation. Let's say, I don't know, you just want to go to the NFL and that's your goal. And that goal pushes you to go to school every day, to go to practice, to do whatever it is you have to do so you can go to college and go to the NFL. The third is where I feel like I shined. They say talent and ability. I'm a natural mathematician, so I was the smart girl. So I just knew I was going to be out of that thing, and I was temporarily. The fourth way is a mentor relationship. Now, I was blessed. I ended up transferring into a inner city school halfway between my high school career. And there was this program called the I Have a Future program. And thank God for Calvin Peters, because he showed us that other things were possible for us. He took us to colleges. He took us all the way from Nashville, Tennessee to Los Angeles on a plane. Some of those kids had never been on a plane. Some of them had never left Nashville. But that, I believe, exposed us to something different. And a lot of the children that were in that program have made it out the hood and are very successful people out here today. And I believe it is thanks to that program. So education, that's what we're taught. Go to school, get a good job. You know, that's the way out of the hood. Y'all, I got a degree in mathematics. I was in graduate school getting my MBA in international business. And I was homeless with a teenager. If you have a child, can you imagine being homeless with your child? Being homeless by yourself could be one thing. Like you might can, you know, fly by the seat of your pants and go spend a night on a few couches. But having your child in tow with you, do you know how scary that is? But what it really did for me is it woke me up to a whole nother level. I said, wait a minute, something's wrong here. I'm smart. I'm in college. Why am I homeless? Why am I broke? It was because I was a victim of generational poverty. I had a poor money story. Many of you probably can relate to a poor money story. Do you remember hearing these kind of words? Oh, well, we can't afford that. Oh, well, that costs too much. Those two statements alone ruined us because it taught us that we couldn't afford things, or either that we weren't even valuable enough to have those things. And so you get older and you even start making some money and you see something you really want to buy, but you don't get it because you don't even feel worthy. And you feel like, you know, I really can't afford that. Which institutes a message, not only in our mind, but even out to the universe of poverty. So you telling the universe you can't afford it. So the universe says, okay, well then I'm gonna make sure that you can't afford it. That is the other thing that's happening. We're calling poverty out. We're calling it right to our doorstep. Even if we just mess around and say, man, I'm broke, man. Broke is a mentality. Just like wealth. Wealth is a mindset. Money does not equate to wealth. We have to get the mindset. And that's the solution that I came to bring, was the Minority Mastermind. The Minority Mastermind, it includes a multitude of things, but basically it's teaching us everything that our parents didn't teach us because one, they didn't know, or two, because they didn't think that they had to teach us. Have you ever realized how many things we're just kind of expected to know as an adult, but nobody ever taught us these things? Unless you were one of them people that was, I'm going to say, a bad kid, and you got to be in JTG and they taught you some stuff, but only it was about this many kids in JTG. Like, what about the rest of us? We didn't need job training skills. We didn't need to know how to dress and how to write a resume. Where I'm not trying to teach you to write a resume, because I'm all about that entrepreneurship life. I'm not trying to teach you to be a slave for somebody else's, for a slave for a corporation. Now, yes, it does have value. When you work for a corporation, you learn everything that corporation is doing, so that way you can go out and start a business in our community and implement those same things. The solution that I'm providing includes universal laws like law of attraction, because thoughts become things. We have to change our thoughts. We have to change our thoughts surrounding money. How many of us heard it? Money is the root of all evil. They done chop part of the doggone sentence off. It's the love of money. Money is not evil. Money is energy. That's it. And what we have to do is we have to be vibrationally aligned with the money that we desire. Because the money you want is up here and you vibrating down here, thinking it's, no, y'all not gonna meet. You have to raise your vibration. You have to raise your money consciousness. You have to program your subconscious mind to believe that not only that desiring the money is okay, but that you deserve it and that it can be yours. Because whatever you desire, you deserve. Whatever you desire, it desires you. You were given that desire. That desire was like literally like it opened up your chest, planted in there, closed back up. So now you can strive to be the person you really came to be. That's what those desires are really calling you for. You don't really want the money. That's not it. You don't really want the big house and the big car. What you want is freedom. Am I lying? You want security. That's what you want. You want to go to sleep knowing that everything is okay. You don't have to even get up tomorrow if you don't want to, and your bills are still going to be paid. Does that sound like something that would feel good to you? Because that's the kind of thing that I'm here to teach. I'm here to teach you what the wealthy people teach their children. Those small things that we just don't know. How to be master of time, how to be master of money, how to be master of energy, of our emotions, knowing that happiness is a choice, wealth is a choice. All these things are choices that we have to make and be committed to. You can't just say, oh, I want the money. No, you got to want the money and you got to want what it takes to get it. Yes, the universe will surely open up a window and pour you out a blessing. But honey, you need a window. And you need to make sure that that window is not nailed shut. We have an opportunity right now. We have an opportunity to not only change our own lives, but to change our family tree and our whole entire cultural landscape. And I'm making that offer to you. So if this sounds like something that, you know, kind of got you tingling like, I want to know more. Well, make sure that we have your email address because the Minority Mastermind Institute is application only. We have a 6-week intensive coming up next month. And when I say intensive, I mean intensive. In these 6 weeks, you will read 6 books. All of them are easy books. Who Moved My Cheese? You can read this book in about an hour. The 4 Agreements, books that are going to lay the foundation for wealth to be built upon because it's a mindset. In this program, we will meet every Saturday and spend the first half of the day together. We're going to exercise together. We're going to breathe together. We're going to meditate together. We're going to discuss real topics. We're bringing in experts because, you know, I am a walking Wikipedia, but I don't know everything. And I'm okay with not knowing everything. The more I learn is the more I figure out I don't know nothing. But we're bringing in people who can tell us even when we do get our money, what should we do with it? What are the opportunities of investment? Because a wealthy person has 7 streams of income. So you can't just have a job or a job and a side hustle. No, we need our money to be out here working for us. With my degree in mathematics, nobody ever taught me how to make money, how to make my money make money, how to grow my money. But now I have read the books. I have found the presenters and I'm still looking for some more. So if you feel like you have something that you can offer to our community and to this program, please reach out because I can't do this by myself. We have to organize. We have to organize as leaders. Imagine if we all a little fish and we all came together and formed a bigger fish than a shark. So now we are eating the thing that's eating us. Because otherwise we're just a whole bunch of little fish just going all over the place. You know, power comes from organized people and organized resources. You want to know why the mob is so strong? You want to know why the Catholic Church is so strong? Because they're organized. We got to get organized, people. We have to get our mind organized. We got to get our resources organized. And we have to come up with a real plan to save our people because they are talking about that our net worth is going to zero. And it's because of our spending habits. It's not that we're not making money. The median income is now $45,000 for a household of color. We're not poor. We're not stupid. We're not lacking creativity. But we are lacking the financial intelligence and some other things too that they know that we don't know. You know, I can talk about some of this stuff and I don't even have to say law of attraction or anything like that. And they know. They know. They know about them Jedi mind tricks. You wonder why they all watch Star Wars. If you got kids, you might want to have them watch Star Wars too. You might want to watch Star Wars and learn that the power, that the force is within you, that God is within you, the universe is within you, and it's always with you. Just imagine how you could show up different just knowing that. How could you show up differently knowing that whatever you desire can be yours? But in order to do that, you have to change who you are. So the Minority Mastermind is offering you a program that is on a be, do, have model, because I know you want to have things. But in order to have those things, you have to do what those type of people do. But if you're anything like me, you probably tried to start a routine before and it didn't work and it didn't fall off. You know, it didn't pan out. You might have tried a new diet or something. And within a few days, you back eating the regular stuff. That's because you didn't change who you are. You have to change who you are, and it'll change what you do, and it'll change what you have. My name is Jamia Wells Palmer. I am Mimi the Motivator. I want to thank you all for your time, and I want to thank you all for being here. And now I would like to open up the room for questions.
Well, I know everyone is so outgoing that they're